Now we are going to see about bipolar junction transistor. In bipolar junction transistor, that is a BJT, first we are going to see about the symbol, and next we are going to see about the structure. Next we are going to see about the steady state characteristics. So as I already told in the previous video, in power transistor we have the first classification is BJT, that is bipolar junction transistor. We know that a BJT, it is a three terminals, that is emitter, base and a collector. These are the three terminals of BJT. It is a three layer device, that is an N layer, P layer and an N layer. Basically we have a two layers, that is N layer and a P layer, and it is doped in such a way that it forms a three layered structure in a BJT. So the doping, it can be in the form of, that is a P type, it is sandwiched between the two N types and thus forms the Pnp, and an N type, it is sandwiched between the two P types and thus forms the Pnp. So as a whole, BJT, it is nothing but it is a three terminal, three layered, two junction switching device. So what the definition of a BJT is, it is a three terminal. So the terminals of a BJT are emitter, base and the collector, and it is having a three layers. The three layers, it is formed in such a way that a P type of a layer, it is sandwiched between the two N type of a layers and thus forms the Npn, or it can be an N type of a layer that is sandwiched between the two P types and thus forms the Pnp. So it is having a two junctions, that is a collector base junction and a base emitter junction. As I already told, the BJT, it is formed by sandwiching the P type, that is a P layer or a P region in between the two N region, and thus forms an Npn transistor. The same way, if an N region or the N layer, it is sandwiched in between the two P types and thus it forms the Pnp transistor. Now we'll see about the transistor diagram with its symbol. So the layer diagram of an Npn transistor is, so as I already told, it is a three layer, that is in N layer, P layer and an N layer, where P layer, it has been sandwiched in between the two N layers. It has a three terminals, that is a base terminal, here it has a collector terminal, and here it has an emitter terminal. So these are the three terminals of BJT. It has a two junction, this is a junction J1 and this is a junction J2. So as I already told, the two junctions are collector and a base junction, it is J1. Next is a base and an emitter junction, it is J2. So this is known as an Npn transistor, and the symbol for the Npn transistor is this. This forms the base part. Next, this forms the collector and this forms the emitter. As I told, arrow mark is very important. For an Npn transistor, the arrow mark will be outside. Next, if I have to draw the Pnp transistor, it is having a three layers, that is first will be a P layer, next is an N layer, next is a P layer. So this Pnp transistor, it is formed by and sandwiching N type of a layer in between the two P layers. Here also it has the two junction, that is J1 and J2, and here also it has the three terminals, that is a collector, this is the base, and this forms the emitter. So junction J1, it is in between the collector and the base. So it is a collector base junction. Junction J2, it is in between the base and the emitter. So it forms the base emitter junction. Now coming to the symbol, so this is the symbol of an Pnp transistor. So this forms the base terminal, this forms the collector terminal, and this forms the emitter terminal. Now the emitter terminal here, it will be inside the arrow mark for an PNP transistor. Understand? This arrow mark is outside for an NPN and this arrow mark it is inside for the PNP transistor. So this is about the layer diagram with the symbol of the BJT. Where in BJT we have two types of a transistor, that is an NPN and the PNP transistor.